Going live, going live. We're live. We're live. Oh, 3 viewers. How do I see who's viewing? I don't know. Well, maybe...
Give us a second to figure this
Yeah,
out.
4 concurrent views. Well, I guess first things first. Can you guys hear us? How does it look? How does it sound? Because we're kind of in a not totally typical situation here doing the live stream.
Let's see if I have a photo.
Yeah, you can show a photo of what's happening.
On my phone right now.
We have 4. A couple people left. Hopefully they're coming back. Oh yeah.
This is where we're camping right now.
Can they see?
Let's see if they can focus.
Yeah.
So
We're between like 2 big metal boxes, and on top of that we have like Reflectix type material covering the windows. So our reception is really bad in here, so what we're doing instead is where
it's very delayed.
I've got my phone on top of one of the containers. Actually, I have 2 of our phones on top of one of the containers, and then this computer that we're doing the streaming is connected to one, and Marlene's phone is connected to the other one, so as to not take up any bandwidth, because where we are on the island, we are in the middle of the island of Hvar in Croatia, and the closest cell tower is actually the island across the water from us. So, yeah, not too good. Yeah. Hello from the Netherlands. Hello. I'm glad you're able to make it. So, well,
Have we been to Netherlands yet, Dan?
we have not.
Sorry.
We've been close. We've been close 2 or 3 times.
We're going for sure.
Yeah, we're going for sure. I want to go for sure. It's just when we're going to get there, we don't know yet. There's some thoughts about possibly this year. There's other thoughts about possibly the year we fly or we ship back to the U.S. That might be the good time to go because we may ship out of Rotterdam. We don't know. But, okay, we have a few more people on now. So we love to see and hear who you guys are and where you guys are from. All that good stuff. And I suspect a lot of you guys are the same people that we've had on live streams before. We have had a live stream since...
I don't know. Not Norway.
Not Norway, even though we have plenty of data. Maybe we had... It was definitely in Eastern Europe. Maybe Romania?
Or Poland.
Well, no, because we had a lot of data to burn in Romania. So it's possible we did some live streaming there. So, okay, we had double-digit viewers for a second.
They left.
Okay. I'm not sure if this is the best way for us to interact in this new, like, YouTube live stream interface, because I'm super not familiar with how this works.
Can somebody tell us if we sound okay and if you guys can see us okay?
Yeah.
So then we know not to mess with this computer anymore.
Yeah, because I'm... Hey!
I told Ava to go
It's
online.
Ava. I think it's Ava.
Okay.
Awesome. Well,
Hello, Caitlin.
winter in Australia. Caitlin from Utah with 3 kids, full-time traveling. That's awesome. Sounds familiar. Winter in Australia, that's kind of actually summer in Australia, right? From LA. That's
cool.
Killer. Been watching our videos today from Tracy in preparation for my own build this winter. That's awesome. Well, I'd love to hear more about your build. And obviously, every build is different. Our build would be different under different circumstances, but we get people asking us a lot about what we would do differently. We wouldn't do anything differently. We would give ourselves more time. but sometimes that's not an option. And in our case, it definitely wasn't an option. So in the time that we had and the amount of time that we were able to build this out and get it ready to go, we did everything the way that was. But, okay, I have been continually making small incremental upgrades to different things. So, for example, if you watch Marlene's Instagram stories today, she shows some photos, and also on my personal Instagram account, I show some photos of our improvement to the awning mount, and that was really something that we needed to do. I had to kind of figure out how to do it, and because I was never too comfortable with how the awning was mounted, we didn't use it a lot, but now we're going to use it a lot. Undying Xavier, is that your wife? Well, that's Marlene.
I am his wife.
Yes. We're Americans. We are, we're both Americans. Grew up in the United States, but we have, well, I was born not in the United States, but I've been there since I was a child. Marlene was born in the United States. Yeah, because I guess there's actually probably a few of you possibly that are on that haven't been on our channel before, because you may be new from, you know, the last couple months, because I think we grew our subscriber count by close to 1,000, I think, in this last couple months. So if you have any questions about us, feel free to ask. So Xavier is asking, is she American? Yes, we're American. Her parents, Marlene's parents, are from Croatia. Her dad is actually from this village on the island of Hvar that we're in right now. And but we are both American. She just got her Croatian dual citizenship like a year ago. Year and a half ago?
Like 5 years ago, Dan. I just got my
No.
passport.
Okay, she just got her passport. Ava's leaving. Bye, Ava.
Oh, our kids.
I guess we're boring.
Our kids. We are boring
We're
to
boring
our kids.
to Ava. So, so this village that we're in our van. The kids are actually in the little stone house that
I'll show you a
Marlene's dad grew up in. And it's kind of a small house. It's a 2-bedroom stone house built by her grandparents. And it's the Indie Projects. Thanks, guys. Yeah,
Hi.
it was nice this last week, but today, cold and windy. So don't be too envious.
Let me find a picture.
But the kids are there right now. We're here. And Marlene's parents are actually here as well. So that's why we've been sleeping in the van even though we're here in the village. So Marlene's going to show a picture of what the house looks like. But it's actually kind of been nice for us to be in the van by ourselves because it's not something we get to experience very much. Just having this...
Let's see. That's the stone house that my grandparents built. And that's where the kids are sleeping with my parents right now.
Yeah. They should be... Well, they're not quite in bed just yet. But they'll be in bed soon. Edgar Chavez from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That's awesome. We love Puerto Vallarta.
We miss Mexico so much. We just every day we're like, oh.
Yeah, eat some amazing Mexican food for us. And drink some Dos Equis and Pacificos for us. Oh my God, Indie Projects are in Lofoten right now. It's got to be pretty cold.
It has to be.
But I bet I saw that you guys got Northern Lights on video and photo. That looked awesome. That was one thing that we were debating whether or not to do. Hey, it's Allison.
Hey, Allison.
Hi. Oh my gosh, she's eating tacos at Waffles.
Fish tacos. We really need to try to make it ourselves here.
Yeah.
That should be our goal.
We have good fish. We did go to Vlore in Albania. We didn't stop. We kind of stopped. That's where that castle is, where people camp in the middle.
Oh.
It's just
I think
outside
we
of it.
went like a different road.
No, we drove through. We drove right through Vlore. It's on the coast.
We messed up then.
No, because we were going from Berat. We had to get to Thessaloniki to get our fridge.
Okay.
So we didn't have time.
Yeah, well, we like to go back there.
Yeah.
And check it out.
We actually really enjoyed Albania. A lot of it has to do with that it was really, really cheap. So you can enjoy like a really good European city like Toronto. We really enjoy. It feels a lot like Split size wise and just architecture and stuff like that. Taco Bell in the UK. Okay, that's right. Troy just went to Taco Bell. Troy went to I chatted with Troy a little bit on Instagram. He went to the real Taco Bell on base. So when we get to the UK, which I think is the plan for this coming summer,
are we gonna make them?
We're gonna hit up. We're gonna try to get our
watch out, Troy.
hook up for another base Taco Bell.
5 hungry people are coming.
Okay. Found your channel while researching casita. Awesome. Lived our casita. Hooked on our vlog. Okay, so obviously we gotta step it up on our vlog.
We could have sold it to you while we were in LA.
Oh,
He's the one from LA, yeah? Oh, I can't scroll.
Yeah. The casita folks referred you to us, huh?
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah. What do we miss? Ellison wants to know.
Of course, Taco Bell and In-N-Out, but what else do we miss?
Well, Ava really misses.
Besides food, what do we miss besides food?
Mexican food? I think
it was hard to get used to.
Amazon. There's Amazon here. There's Amazon in Germany. We order a lot of stuff from Amazon, but everything is more expensive. So at the very least, prices on Amazon is more expensive because you get charged in euros, not in dollars. So just by the exchange rate, you pay a little bit more. But sometimes you get a surplus or premium price on top of that. But what else? What else do we miss?
Besides friends and family.
Yeah, Nick knows we miss Wawa, of course. Besides, well, of course, family, friends.
Things here take a little bit more effort, so in America, you just get so used to the convenience and everything. Like, you go to Target, you can just go buy whatever you want, or Walmart, you know the store names. So here, we just have to, like, figure things out.
Yeah, we can do it.
It takes a little longer, and that's why we're here, to figure things out and challenge ourselves, but...
Right.
Some days you just want convenience, and you just can't find it.
Yeah, I think a lot of the things that we've done in our life has been creating interesting and unique and I guess challenges that help us build ourselves as individuals, because things get too comfortable, they become very mundane and boring. So when we lived in the Airstream, it was a challenge. It wasn't just for the challenge. The primary goal was to travel, but we loved the challenge of living smaller. But then the Airstream got to be comfortable. And then we also got to the point where we wanted to go see more stuff that we couldn't take the Airstream to. So then we took the challenge to downsize again. So Europe is kind of the same thing. Like, we know everything about living in the U.S., and a lot of you guys that are from the U.S. know what we're talking about. You know, all the conveniences. You just go out, get everything you need from the store for cheap. You got to, especially when you live in the same town that you grew up in or went to college or whatever, you spend a lot of time in. Yeah, so in Europe, everything's new, everything's different, and especially from country to country. We really love that. What else? Is that all you have for Allison about what we miss? What?
Are you going to respond to that guy?
Wait, which one? Huh? Where? Oh. Whatever. Mixed race kid. Oh, so you're not a fan of mixed race kids, huh? From Puerto... Is this the guy from Puerto Vallarta?
No, he asked if we can just delete him. Go with that thing.
Yeah. We can put him in timeout.
We could just report him.
Report. Well, Undying Xavier is gone.
Okay. People ask us a lot if we get like mean comments or about our, unique.
This guy's hilarious.
Our lifestyle, and we usually don't get mean comments. It's on YouTube every once in a while. You'll delete it before I see it but that's just one of the things about.
Yeah, but usually you just ignore them. I want to know what his channel looks like. Anyways, good Chinese food is hard to find in Europe. It definitely is, because there's just, I think in Eastern Europe especially, and I think Nick is from Eastern Europe, so he knows, but really it comes down to like how many people from that part of the world have immigrated to the country that you're in. The more that you have, the more immigrants from that country you have in that country that you're in, the better that food is going to be. So in the U.S., people from all over the world, go to different parts of the United States. And the U.S. is made up of, immigrants from all over the world. So naturally, you're going to have really good, foods from all over the world. But yeah, Croatia specifically, it's really tough. There's not that many Mexicans that have immigrated here. And so, it's hard to find good Mexican food. There's not that many Asians that have immigrated to this part of the world. So it's kind of hard. There are some, but if there's only a few, then they tend to cater to just the local tastes, because economically that's what they have to do. What place? Let's see. How have we gone? Okay. Pay at the pump is absent in a few EU countries. Got to go inside and pay. Yeah, so paying at the pump is interesting, because when we first got to Belgium, for I don't know, all through Belgium and then through Luxembourg and even parts of Germany, felt like that they pump for you. And then this last year, though, since we left Croatia in January until now, everywhere I went, there's nobody pumping for me anymore. I'm pumping my own gas everywhere I go, which is totally fine. And there's also, it's kind of like back in the day when the U.S., when you didn't have to pay before you pump. Here you can pump and then you go pay, which is how things used to be in the U.S. too. It's pretty refreshing. Let's see what else. Let's see. Cocolinos. Yeah.
It's from the Ukraine.
What places are we staying on the island of Hvar? What place are we staying? We're in the village where Marlene's dad grew up, which is in the middle of Hvar, about 30 minutes east of Jausa. So when you take the ferry from Split, which is where most people come from, you get to the town of Starigrad. From there, it's about
We're like dead
15 minutes east to Jausa, and another 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's probably pretty central on the island.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a major touristy area of Hvar, but which is what makes it great. So those photos that we posted on Instagram of us swimming in this beautiful blue-green water, nobody around, it's because even during the peak season, there's very few outside tourists that come. Most people that come here are people that know somebody from this village, or somebody, friend of a friend or something. Or there's a few are you still there?
This guy's still
yeah.
Well, you gotta delete him or hide this user.
Yeah.
Or remove. Reporting somebody is not enough.
No, they have to look at it. Oh, they only get to go to timeout for 300 seconds?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, sorry, gotta deal with the a-hole on YouTube.
Well, not everybody's gonna like what you're doing, but it's weird that people would go out of their way to waste their day.
People with problems.
Yeah. Or what are our... Okay, Tracy wants to know, what are our upcoming travel plans? Okay, wait, hold on. Did we miss anything?
Let's see.
Let's go back up.
Okay.
Yeah, in the Netherlands, there are a lot of Chinese people there. Actually, I was just going to say, I think I didn't finish that thought. Where you are in the Netherlands, and also where we were in Dusseldorf area, that corner of Europe is very dense, very densely populated. And there's a lot of what we'd learned is actually in Dusseldorf is the densest European population of Japanese people. So they actually had really good Japanese food.
Yeah, we ordered sushi a couple times.
Yeah, order sushi while we were there. So yeah, being so dense, I think it's easy for people to go. And I think it's kind of like a lot of immigration. Like when somebody goes, it just takes like one person from a country to go and really love it. And they start telling their friends from their country that they should all come. So then, yes, over time, we get a lot of people there. So there's definitely, the bigger cities, you're going to have better food, but just Croatia's not big enough. Let's see. Gail, been watching for a long time. Love seeing your vlogs. Hope you come to Wales. That is the plan. So our winter plans, I think somebody else asked about our upcoming travel plans. We are leaving Croatia probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Right?
We're waiting on paperwork, so we're being very optimistic this year.
Yeah. I don't know if that's committing too much, but
we'll eventually leave Croatia.
Yeah. We're going to... Our plan is to go to Spain, Portugal, and then Morocco to kind of spend the winter there. Mm-hmm. And then from there, once it gets warm, we're going to come back to Europe and figure out where to spend spring and summer. We don't want to be someplace that's going to be super, super crowded or too warm, too hot in the summer. So we're thinking Scotland. And obviously, if we go to Scotland, we'll probably make our way up the UK. Possibly go to Ireland first, and then Northern Ireland, and then maybe do a loop. But we haven't figured that out yet. But that's just kind of tentative plans.
Because we were thinking about going to Russia next summer.
Yeah.
And it's just so many miles. It's like
from Morocco
zigzagging.
All the way to Russia is too many miles.
So I think maybe we should do this, and then when we want to go to Russia, then we save it for another summer.
Yeah.
Let's see, Allison. Oh, thank you for being an inspiration too, Allison.
Let's see. Oh, it's Chocolino. Where is that? That's the name of a town, right?
Isn't that the next? That's the next city, where Nonavinka's from.
It's one that way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be free. Yeah, so we're in Zastrzyce, so yeah, that's just east of us, and then Bogomoya is east of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Julia Arnaud from Marseille, France. Cool. Oh yeah.
Oh, hello, Julia.
Yeah, did you guys...
did you find...
I guess you guys are back at home.
No, but they were going to find a village or something to
No,
live
I don't
at.
think
No?
this is... I think this is the one that was already there, parked under the tree.
Okay.
With the 2 kids.
Okay.
Right? Let's see. Troy says, will you be somewhere near the Mediterranean for Christmas? We don't know yet exactly where for Christmas, but Mediterranean it's either Mediterranean or the Atlantic.
Yeah, you want to get some surfing in.
Yeah, so it's either going to be on like the Mediterranean side of Spain or the Atlantic side of Spain, Portugal, or Morocco. So somewhere by the water. I think that's what we're hoping to do. Have we been to Koper in Slovenia? We've not spent any time really in Slovenia except for like we drove through it again. Did we?
We went to...
Maybe we just drove through like 10 miles of it and then we crossed into Croatia this time. So then last year we drove through it. We tried to go to Lake Bled and it was still too crowded, so then we just left. No, so we've not done a ton of Slovenia or hardly anything actually. But it's one of those places that it's so close to Croatia and we keep coming back here, once a year. We just always kind of, decide that we'll come back. Same thing as Bosnia and Serbia. Serbia I went to for a couple days, but those places we'll get to. But yeah, we would love to hear advice. Yeah, Germany's pretty populated, but definitely that part though. I mean, we drove through like parts of Bavaria that's pretty populated, but nothing like that part along the Rhine between like Dusseldorf down to Bonn. It was just very, very crowded. Russia to Finland. Yeah, we definitely want to go back and maybe see some more Finland, like the Lapland area. But again, that's just too far from Morocco where we plan to be this winter. We want to do some more stuff that are close to where we are. Okay, so Julia's back home now. Cool. Yeah, I think they did a year. Right? Remember they did a year traveling. And they were on their way back. That was the spot where the fire hydrant was broken.
Oh yeah.
So there's like a lake with a bunch of tadpoles.
Froggies.
Yeah. Little frogs. SB. Been following you since early Airstream time, on and off. Please briefly talk about your homeschooling. Thanks. You're awesome. Simon from Switzerland. Okay. Homeschooling. Oh yeah. We were parked. Chocolino. We were parked in front of the library 2 weeks ago. That was really, really, really lucky. Her dad has an apartment right around there, and we can actually see the car from the apartment. So we were able to have that spot open up that fits us perfectly, and for us to be legally parked there, that was the
best spot.
spot we could have gotten. Okay, homeschooling.
So,
I guess just kind of do a general brief. It's hard to talk about all of it, like, without going into a lot of detail, but maybe do the basics.
So we don't follow like a strict method of homeschooling. I know there's like the classical and things like that. We kind of do a mix and match. So we grab a little bit of from every kind of method of schooling, and we really do a travel-based schooling. So wherever we are, we're going to learn about the history, the culture of where we're at the moment, incorporate that. And then on days when we're not doing that, we have workbooks. So all the workbooks are at my parents' little house right now, but everybody has their language art books, and they have math books. We've been switching to an online math program. So it's a combination of books and online apps and programs. We don't do like a complete online school from start to end. It's really just a mix and match what works for each kid.
Yeah, but
customize it.
I think that's sort of the benefit of homeschooling, though, because it doesn't make sense for us to follow so closely to a curriculum. I suppose we would if we were not traveling, because that way we can know that they're getting a good, well-rounded education. But because we travel, we want to incorporate so much of our traveling into their schooling. So trying to stick to a very strict curriculum doesn't make that much sense. So it makes more sense for us to kind of give them the important things that they need to have, like math and science and history and language. But then mix in the stuff that interests them, first of all, and then secondly, that's in context with the things that they're experiencing in real life. So I hope that helps. We can go into more detail about that, but
we did a podcast.
Yeah, we did a podcast. We're going to put out more content like this that's very specific to how we travel, the things that we do to travel, and even I'll get into more stuff about like what I do for work and ways that people can make money while they're traveling. We actually we haven't sent one out yet, but we're starting like a newsletter subscription that you can go to our website. If you've been to our website in the last couple of days, there's like a delayed pop-up where you can sign up for our newsletter. And our plan is to start getting some of that content out outside of kind of these media, like these video or photo formats. It makes more sense for it to be like a blog post or like a newsletter or maybe like a downloadable ebook or something like that. So you can also go to mollymace.com/newsletter to sign up for our newsletter if that's something you're interested in. And we would love to hear some feedback on the things that you want to see for us to kind of create and distribute through that channel. The podcast is on the website. If you go to mollymace.com, there's a box down below that says podcast, and then you click on that, you'll go to a podcast page where it shows all the episodes. We have 13 episodes so far. Let's see, indie project. They're shipping to Canada. We've traveled a bunch in Canada, and I mean, I don't even know where to start. There's so much. Let's see. I assume when you ship, you're going to ship to Halifax because that's where you ship it to. Depending on when you're there, you may or may not want to stay because if it's, well, I guess if it's wintertime, you're going to stay in Canada. It's going to be cold everywhere. You may as well just stay wherever you end up. So in Halifax, the whole like maritime Canada area is really cool. It's like Maine on steroids. So they have the Bay of Fundy, which has one of the greatest tidal changes in the world. Fundy National Park, you can go see where the tide comes in, comes out, and it creates these like really cool like formations.
Flower pots?
Flower pot formations, that's what they call it. Lobsters, lobster rolls. They have their own Canadian take on the lobster roll that's different than what we have in the Northeast of the United States. Obviously, in Halifax, you want to go to like in Nova Scotia, Cape Breton is really awesome. Definitely go to Newfoundland. Newfoundland is probably the most underrated place in North America.
Wow. That is...
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
quite a statement.
I mean, everybody knows about the Canadian Rockies. Everybody knows about, like, Vancouver, and everybody knows about, you know, the cool cities to go, like Montreal and, you know, Toronto. Oh, Toronto. Everybody knows about, you know, the, like, Banff and Jasper and Vancouver Island and all those cool places.
You shouldn't miss those.
You shouldn't miss those, for sure.
No.
But if you're going to be in Halifax, because Halifax, March and April, I think it's going to be a really good time, actually. March and April is starting to get warm, but it's not super crowded yet. So, yeah, definitely go to...
do the Maritimes first.
Do the Maritimes. Don't leave and bolt straight to the West Coast, which
how long do
you'll
they
have time to do.
How long do you guys have?
Yeah, depending on how much time you have. I would... Personally, we spent a whole summer in the Maritimes, Newfoundland, and we drove the Trans-Labrador Highway. We ferry from Newfoundland to, actually, when you go north into Labrador, you're actually in Quebec. Just a tiny bit of it. You can drive all the way around. You can go look at our... We have a bunch of videos from Trans-Labrador Highway, Newfoundland, and Maritime Canada. But assuming you've gotten your fill there, going across Montreal, Toronto's pretty cool, but it's cities, right? So you gotta just kind of, you know, figure out what kind of stuff you like to do. Eating in Toronto, I mean, in Montreal. Montreal's food is like, it's good. It's really good food. The smoked meat. Sandwich. Montreal smoked meat, is that what it's called? It's like, yeah. But do all that stuff before you start heading west. Once you get to like Saskatchewan, you know, it's kind of, it mirrors the United States. I don't know how much you know the United States. The middle of Canada is kind of flat and long and straight. It's prairies, a lot of farmland. But there is a really cool national park near Saskatchewan, or in Saskatchewan on the eastern side, and it's kind of like where different terrains change, and it has like a really unique geographic sort of
I don't
region.
even know what you're talking about.
Remember we saw a bear there. Anyways, once you get to the West Coast, all the stuff that you would expect in the West Coast is there. You know, go to Banff, go to Jasper, and Banff and Jasper are the two places that you can probably spend a couple of years just exploring. Drive the Icefields Parkway.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. I don't know. Go up to Edmonton, and I would even go. I assume if you're gonna go that far, depending on how long you're staying, you may as well go to drive into Alaska, and even before you get to Alaska, go to Whitehorse, and drive north to
Dawson City.
Dawson City.
Do the toe shot.
And then,
if you go that far.
and then from Dawson City now they've finished the road that goes all the way to the Arctic Ocean, so you can go do that. Like driving that road to the Arctic Ocean is far, far, far different from driving into the Arctic Circle to Nordkapp in Norway. The roads in Norway are beautiful, perfect, well-maintained roads. Don't expect that when you drive that in Canada. So, yeah, I mean, let us know. Let us know if you want more specifics. But that's exciting. That's exciting that you guys are going to ship over there. They're going to be there for a year.
Yeah. 6 months and 6 months and then 6 months. So like 2 years with the US.
Yeah. Right. So it's kind of like what people have to do in the Schengen in Europe. Americans have to go from Schengen to non-Schengen to Schengen to non-Schengen.
You're doing the US-Canada shuffle.
Mm-hmm. Cool. That's very exciting. Yeah, I would say in a year in 6 months you can do a lot of Canada. You can get all the real cool high level stuff of Canada, but I wouldn't say that it would be enough in 6 months.
Well, they're gonna
just
do
because
a year.
I know, but 6 months in the U.S.
Yeah,
but
we don't care about your seasons. We care about our seasons more
right.
than I think you guys do.
Right. Because in 6 months you only get to see the places that you're at the time that you're there, and those places are such different places in different times of the year. I mean, same goes for everywhere actually, but yeah, that's basically our advice in a condensed fashion. Maybe not too condensed.
When did you ever say anything condensed, Dan?
I don't know. Okay. What else? Is Marlene's name actually some Croatian name turned American? No. Marlene was born in the United States, and
my parents just like the name for
I
some
know your
reason.
parents named your brother David for David Cassidy, so that's definitely not Croatian.
No.
Your mom.
No, they just I got a different name.
Yeah,
German,
and people
am I
don't
German
really.
name? I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of a German name. Marlena.
My grandpa from Croatia couldn't say my name. They got me Marilyn Monroe.
Merlin the magician.
Nice.
Yeah, she wears a wizard's hat. Okay. Anything else? Dometic fridge. Dometic fridge is.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's killing it. We had an issue with our previous one. Turned out it was the wire. So the previous one was fine too. It broke on us in Barat. It just stopped working. Like it didn't want to turn on. So I thought maybe something fried in the circuit board or something. Because I took out the cord and I looked at the fuse. The fuse was fine. And then, I messed with it. And then I don't know. I didn't have the right tools to do a continuity test. But I was able to plug it in. I was able to use my multimeter to check the voltage. And see what the voltage was coming through. But it was intermittent, I guess. So I couldn't tell. But, yeah, turns out that fridge was fine. But this fridge we actually like even better because this one uses less power. So you know, we keep stuff in here all the time, even when we're not in here. Like right now, we're eating our meals in the village house and sleeping here, but we still keep the fridge on, cold beers. Marlena Dietrich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I think my name's German. I don't know if it really is.
Yeah. I mean, there's some German names like Dieter.
Yeah.
But Marlene can be from anywhere, I guess.
So you put it in your scamp, Nick. That's awesome.
Oh, cool.
I hope you're loving it.
Yeah.
We really like the low draw this one. We don't have the dual zone anymore. I don't know which one you have, but we like it. Is it raining?
I don't think so. But the scamp, do you mean the scamp? You got a scamp trailer from Minnesota? Is it raining?
No.
No. Okay. Gumby Goo Goo. Did the caravan salon meet your expectations? Was it worthwhile participating? Did you learn anything new? Okay, we can talk a little about the caravan salon. It was overwhelming, I would say, is the one word that I will say above all. It was overwhelming because it was the first time we've ever done something like that. And there were a lot of people, even though they didn't give us any like pressure to do anything that we didn't want to do. I think maybe part of us just felt like that we wanted to make sure that they're happy with us being there. And also having our van there was kind of overwhelming in that there's so many people walking past and sticking their heads in all the time. Part of me wanted to be there every day for the 2 weeks that we were there just to keep an eye on the van. But then part of me was like, I don't even want to know what's happening. Let's just hope nothing happens.
It's like small town folks got dropped into New York City. It was just like so much commotion and talking and it was just like so many things to look at.
But it was really cool to see all the stuff. I would say like 80% of the stuff though wasn't not interesting to us, just because they're sort of catered to like weekenders. They're not anything new. They're stuff that you kind of see driving down the road. In Europe,
the vehicles,
by far the most popular RV is based on the Fiat Ducato, which in the US is identical to the Ram ProMaster. There's nothing wrong with those, but everything here is based on that. So you get a little bit bored of seeing that. And there's different versions of it.
There's like 200 versions of it.
Yeah.
It's a huge show with hundreds of vehicles. Or on the other end, it was really expensive, like overlanding rigs that's hard to afford.
Right. The big man-based or the big Mercedes Unimog-based, the big, like there's Sprinter vans like ours, but I would say ours was probably the only like home-built
for sure
van there in the whole show. And it's a huge show.
Because they're selling stuff. We're not selling.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of people came by and like looked at it and was like, oh, this is interesting. And they did a really good job cleaning our van. Like they took it to a detail. Well, they put the decals on first of all, and then before that we did a car wash. And they took it we took it to a detail shop that they paid for just before we dropped it off at the show. And then there was a German family there. One of the last days we were there. There were like 6 or 7 of them. They're just inside. We had a rope in the front that kind of roped it off so people wouldn't like go in and like look through all the stuff and touch everything. But they were really like sticking their heads in. They were like on the edge, like pushing in. And then one guy even like decided to climb up the ladder. Was like up on the ladder, looking all over. And we're just standing next to him. He's like, what should we do? What should we say? So then I finally was like, do you have any questions I can answer for you? And then he's like, oh, well, this is what he said. He's like, this is not the actual van that the family lives in, right? Because this is new. We're like, well, yes, this is we're the family. This is our van that we live in. So,
You got kind of embarrassed.
But he had a lot of questions, so we were able to answer that, which is kind of cool. And he got off the ladder to talk to me, which I was kind of, my polite way of saying, come down, we can talk. And then his son gets on the ladder as soon as he gets off. But anyways, The ladder's fine. Everything's fine. We enjoyed it. It was a good change of pace. It did cut our Norway stay short. We would have loved to stay more time in Norway. But, you know, it got us to experience something else.
Yeah.
So that's always better.
Yeah, because it was a unique experience.
Yeah. So Nick has a 97 Scamp
cool.
16.
Was ours 16 or Casita?
Ours is 16, yeah.
Okay.
Ours is a Casita 16. Casitas and Scamps are basically like, you know, the same, basically build. They're head-to-head competitors in that market. In the U.S., there's not, I mean, there's a bunch, like there's U-Hauls, there's Burrows, there's Scamps, and then there's Casitas. But Scamps and Casitas are by far probably the most popular fiberglass tub type, like the upper and lower tubs. The big distinction between Scamps and Casita is the lower tub of this Casita is a complete tub, whereas a Scamp has an open bottom. Then they put the open bottom onto the floor. So, yeah, Europe has a ton of Fiat compact. Well, so in the U.S. it's Ram ProMaster, which is, there's plenty of them now too. You know, getting very, very popular. In fact, Winnebago just came out with their high top, pop top, ProMaster based camper called the Solus?
Finder?
The Solus.
Find your soul.
Chocolino wants to know if you speak Croatian. Why don't you say something Croatian?
Yeah, govorim hrvatski.
You gotta say more than that. Are you embarrassed?
I'm a little embarrassed.
Okay. Both are hard to find in these coasts. Yeah.
Chocolino, I only spoke Croatian as a kid. And then when I started going to school, that's when I learned how to speak English. So I showed up to kindergarten, and I don't know a word, or maybe I knew a few words of English, but I didn't really say anything. So the teacher's like, "What's wrong with her? She doesn't speak English." So now when I speak like a little kid because that's where like my progression stopped.
Yeah. But
so it's
enough to get by.
I can get by,
and
everybody looks at me and they're like, "Oh, you're speaking like a little kid in a grown-up's body."
Right.
That's fine.
I think what it does is it makes people more comfortable to talk to you if they know that you at least understand them and you can talk to them. So when we take taxis, for example, like today, well, yesterday we left the village. We had to go to Split to meet with continue to the next step of our residency renewal process. So we had to go back. And then today we took the ferry back. And we took the taxi to the equivalent of Home Depot here, which is Bauhaus, a German Home Depot type company, to get some supplies so we can come back and work on having another project I want to do while we're here. But this old man who was our taxi driver, you know, they always start chatting Marlene up. And it's really nice that they can just talk to her and, you know, get to know more about her when they don't feel comfortable speaking English. There's a lot of people understand English, they can speak English, but usually their expertise in English ends at where like their daily professional, you know, use. So if they're a taxi driver, they know all the things to say that's related to like getting somebody from point A to point B. If you're like a restaurant owner, you know all the English phrases in your trade. But to kind of just start chit-chatting and, you know, conversing freely, that's where, like, you know, Marlene being able to understand and talk to them comes in really handy. Puts people at ease. Simon says, we have a European caravan, 3 people. It gets a little tight during bad weather days. How do you manage bad weather days with 5 people? Well, long story short, we're used to this amount of space. We're actually very comfortable in here. It's, everybody's different. Like, I couldn't really tell you how to be more comfortable, but I think it's good to just know that, you know, find a couple spots in the camper that you feel comfortable at. Like for me, it's have the seat swiveled in the front, and I'm comfortable just sitting there, you know. Or I go into our bed and I lay down, and I put our big pillow behind, you know, where our winter jackets are, and I kind of prop myself up. I can lay down there, like, you know, like read something on my phone or watch a video or, you know, do whatever. The kids are like, you know, they're either sitting here or they're laying on their bed, or they're just kind of hanging out here, like, you know, reading or playing games or whatever. We can all be comfortable even during rainy days. So I think it's just a matter of getting used to it, you know.
Or we make a point of going somewhere. Like, okay, we're going to the supermarket or we're going to the mall to stretch our legs and get out of here.
Yeah, if you have to get out,
Change
find a
of
place
scenery.
to get out.
Like, we can't be stuck in here all day. It's annoying, boring.
If we have to, though, like in Norway. If in Norway, you know, when it rained a lot towards the end of our stay in Norway, we were at places where there were no places to go. Yeah. We were just in here.
And that's what you just have to deal with for a short period of time. And we know that it's going to be over soon.
Yeah. Marjorie K.
Hi, Marjorie.
Yeah, we are happy to be live streaming again. We actually have been wanting to do more live streams, but up until we got to Norway, it was really difficult because we had limited internet. And back in Croatia, our phone plans are unlimited here once again, so we can do that. In Norway, we had unlimited internet because we got a unlimited SIM card, but I was doing daily vlogs, and that was taking a lot of effort and work, and that was going to be my priority, so we didn't do it there. Winnebago trend didn't last long. Well, I don't know. I think Winnebago is actually really, really probably doing one of the best jobs in recognizing this kind of smaller downsizing, like, you know, going farther. I guess you call it the van life trend. Like, they're building vans that, like, young people want to buy. So I think Winnebago is probably one of the leading companies in the U.S. industry that's doing that. You know, other people, even like Airstream, they're still building, you know, luxury, like, coaches based on their Class Bs and the B pluses, or luxury that, like, young people can't afford that. I mean, when I say young people can afford it, you know, they're still like the Winnebago ones are still at over $100,000, but Airstream's building things that's like 200 plus grand on the high end. So let's see. Nick's kids are born in the U.S., mostly speak English. Yeah, I mean that's how it's gonna be. Gumby Goo Goo, can we hear more about your upcoming sail trip? Same as your previous one. The trip looks amazing. Yeah, so same as the last year. In fact, exactly the same days. It was October 12th through 19th. So
and the boat.
In the same boat. Right.
But less people this time.
The only difference is it's just going to be the five of us. Yeah, our friends, Bodeswells, won't be there. They are in the UK. Yeah. They have to be out of the Schengen zone because they don't have, you know, this dual residency citizenship thing that we have, which has been really, really helpful for us to be traveling freely. We don't know what the weather is going to be like. We got really lucky last year with just amazing weather.
Yeah, it was sunny.
Yeah.
Kids were swimming almost every day.
But we got a lot of swimming in this last week. Yeah. So the upcoming sailing trip is going to be not this Saturday, not in 2 days, but in 9 days. So we'll be in that same boat again in 9 days.
I'm going to check the weather now. Very loud.
What is our route plan for Morocco? We're not sure yet.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah. It's really far away from us.
I will say, though, we have been lately talking about not driving as much. So, in Norway, we didn't stay more than... Most places would stay 1 or 2 nights. We maybe stay 3 nights in, like, 1 place or 2 places at the most, if that.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 place, maybe the first place we were at in the...
the white reindeer.
With the white reindeer. So, Morocco, I think our plan is to stay like at least a week in each spot. So if we're going to be there for, let's say, like a month and a half through winter, we're probably going to just find 6 places.
If you have any recommendations, let
Yeah,
us know.
we will love recommendations.
But we say we're going to stay a week, but we have itchy feet, Dan.
I know.
Maybe we'll stay 4 days somewhere.
Yeah, but it's different if the surf is good.
That's true.
And then there's like, you know, the kids like it and we like it, and there's a place for us to walk to go get like, you know, good tagines and shopping, grocery stores.
Expecting it to be like Baja, Dan.
Pretty much. Pretty much. But anyways, finishing up our sailing trip, we went to like every night we're in a different cove last year, and we liked every single one of those coves, but we don't know if we want to go to the same ones again. Obviously, that would be the easiest thing to do, but just like how we travel by land, we try to change it up. So I think we're going to try to do a different route and find new places. Not sure exactly where yet, but I think we're going to share more. We're going to share more on this sailing trip real time. I may even daily vlog and maybe live stream from there.
You know you're the captain.
Yeah, it's true.
And you don't have a...
I'm going to have to hand cameras over to people. But anyways, we're looking forward to that. It should be really fun. Let's see. Young people convert sprinters, the way to go. Yeah, of course. That's what we did, right? So I think most people convert sprinters because
but we're not young, and we're like
no. I mean, of course, but you gotta let me say what I was gonna say. Young people convert sprinters for one or two reasons. One is that they're trying to save money, so it's cheaper, and two is that they can't find the layout that they want, which is our situation. Like if we could just buy one that was ready to go with all the requirements that we wanted, we would, but it didn't exist. We have to have somebody custom build one, and
that's really expensive.
That's really expensive, and we don't have the money to do that either. But for people that don't travel full time, for people that work good jobs and they get paid well, they don't have the time to go build their own. They just want to go and buy something, like, you know, the Winnebago Sprinter 4x4 is a pretty good choice. It's a pretty good option. It's ready to go. It's proven. It's, you know, well engineered. Okay. Best cell provider in Europe. T-Mobile warns me I'm spending too much. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's a really hard one because unlike the U.S., where you can just say Verizon, best coverage, or AT&T, best coverage, Europe is all over the place. We are investigating, and then not only is Europe all over the place, Europe also has different requirements on where you have to have your residency and all that stuff before you get a plan. So we've noticed a couple of good prepaid plans that we're hoping to get maybe this year. I think France has one called Free, and our friends Indie Projects turned us on to one in the UK called Voxy. So we're going to try to look into getting one of those. We'll see. But I don't think there's such a thing as
one that's going to work
unlimited that works all the time everywhere for a reasonable price. I don't think that exists.
Too many borders.
Yeah. Julia, goodbye. Well, thanks for joining our live stream, Julia. It was good to hear from you. We will definitely drive through Marseille. We're actually going to drive through there. I'm pretty sure. Well, actually, it depends. It depends if we take the ferry from Italy to Barcelona or not.
We'd love to borrow your bathroom.
Yes.
That sounds so weird, but it's so true.
The shower. I mean, not the toilet. We have the toilet. Just the shower. Chocolino. For how long can you keep driving in Croatia with California U.S. plates? Not just Croatia, in the EU. You have to leave the EU/EEA area once every 180 days. Right?
6 months, Dan.
Okay,
that's,
6 months.
That's for Schengen.
It's the same. Same thing. Well, okay, not exactly the same thing, but I don't know what they go by.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if they go by the months or the day of the month or the number of days.
Okay.
But if we leave if we just leave, this is what we heard. We emailed the EU. They have a team of lawyers that just respond to people's questions through the EU website. And we finally got an answer from them that says, as long as you're not permanently importing to Europe, then you don't have to switch your plates from whatever foreign plate that you have. And we're not, even though we're here for over a year now, and our plan is to be here for another year, 2 years. Our plan is to ship this away. So it makes no sense for them to force us to, pay the taxes and get a local plate when it's just going to be shipped back again. So the rule that we heard from them is every 6 months you have to leave. You have to be in a non-EU country for any amount of time.
Yeah.
But then have some proof.
Yeah.
Right? So if you get pulled over and they say, how long have you been here in Europe, in the EU/EEA area, we can show them, okay, we got gas in Serbia on this day, and we were in Turkey on this day, or we were in Bosnia on this day. So we've not tested whether or not, that works. Every policeman that pulls you over is going to have their own interpretation. So the only thing we can go by is what we heard from the lawyers on the EU website. So short answer is we don't have to change our license plate. And we can stay here more or less for as long as we want, as long as we follow that 180-day rule. 5 people in the scamp.
Yeah.
See a sprinter. Yeah, we,
some extra space.
Yeah, 5 people is pretty tight. I think we fit in the casita just because of the layout worked for us, but I don't think we would fit now because the girls are bigger.
Yeah, I think Ava might be too big for that bunk bed.
Ava will have to sleep on the side bed where Luca used to, and they have to switch.
It around.
But in the van, we foresee us being able to handle this for
this is easier.
The foreseeable future, yeah.
This is easier than the 4-wheel and the casita. Yeah, T-Mobile Unlimited over EU. It is true. However, I think there's a limit on how many days. I know in Mexico we got canceled.
Yeah, they'll cancel you if you stay too long outside of the U.S. They'll just cancel you. Yeah. And that's happened to us twice actually. Yeah. Let's see. W461 per. I'm far behind following your Baja tracks currently. Take care.
That is a long time ago.
I want to go to Baja. Luis Pablo Lee, your drone video reviews were the best. Mavic and Spark. Have you heard the new Skydio 2? Yes, I've been watching the Skydio 2.0 videos. In fact, I told Marlene today I was going to buy one.
And I said, are you serious?
No, it looks awesome. But I have my opinions about it. But it's just not practical for me to buy a new drone made in the U.S. like that. And
but what if it was? He wants to know your opinion of it.
I think it's awesome. I think it's basically the Skydio 2.0. For those that don't know, Skydio 2.0 just came out. Last year they came up with the Skydio 1.0, which is just a drone that didn't even have a controller. You just let it take off in the air, and it just follows you. And it has such good obstacle avoidance that it physically is unable to crash into anything because it has cameras going everywhere. But it was like $2,000, and it wasn't as fun because it didn't have a controller. So people actually want to fly it. That's why the DJI drones are so popular, because it looks cool and people can fly it. They think they're doing something, even though the drone is doing so much. The Skydio, they overcame all that with their 2.0. It's a cool looking drone, has a long flight time, has ridiculous obstacle avoidance. It's basically the Tesla autopilot in a drone. So you can just send it off. You can't crash this thing. You can fly this thing with the controller that comes with it. You can just fly straight into a tree. It'll just find its way around it. And it's got really cool controls where you have this other, it's almost like a little little laser pointer that you can hold, and you can point the laser pointer at a spot and it'll fly there, or you can just put it in your pocket and then it uses it as a GPS beacon. It knows where you are. So even if you fly if it's flying over you and you go behind something, still knows where you are, still knows where to point its camera at you. So I think that's cool. Yeah, Skydio. I'm into it. RV life. Hey guys.
Yeah, it's been a long
yeah,
time.
I know. It's been a long time since we did a live stream. But
we're back with unlimited
we're
data.
back.
Yeah. So Chocolino, yeah, we can keep our California plates as long as we're not in a country for too long and we're not moving in.
Yeah. I mean, I think if we were hanging around Split for like months and months and months and months, and the same police keep seeing us, then that'll be trouble.
But we're not doing that.
No, we're not doing that. Yeah, Sandra, they do cancel you.
Yeah, T-Mobile will cancel you.
Because T-Mobile they've worked out these roaming agreements with all these companies around the world, and that's why you're able to roam without paying roaming fees. But you are paying roaming fees, but T-Mobile is paying roaming fees on your behalf in their partnerships. So to protect themselves and their partners, because the partners that the network you're roaming on, they have no control over you because you're not their customer. They can say, hey, T-Mobile, you got one of your customers roaming on our network now for, a year. We don't want them anymore. So the only way for T-Mobile to get rid of you on their network is have a fine print in their contract says, if you stay too long, we reserve the right to cancel you. Because what happens is a lot of people, expats, will live in Mexico. They would get a T-Mobile plan and they will go to Mexico and just use that while they're there because I think it's convenient and cheaper and, all that stuff. But it was causing problems. Yeah, the Dometic compressor just kicked on.
Yeah. I tune it out now, but yeah.
That means the microphone's pretty good.
Yeah.
You can hear that. Yeah. It's off the camera. Let's see. Yeah. Nick is talking about T-Mobile. My in-laws are in Croatia right now. I have no idea where. Well, Split is one of the more popular places.
Yeah.
So
we might have saw them today.
There's
Split earlier today.
How are they here? Are they on a cruise ship? Because I think there were like 4 cruise ships in Split. But hope they're having a good time. Yesterday we had a ton of rain. Today too.
Yeah.
This morning, good amount of rain. A lot of lightning last night. In fact, the power went out in the village last night here.
Not surprising.
No, it was windy today. On our way walking back, we were a Split walking to the ferry to come back here today. It was raining, but it was so windy we couldn't open our umbrella because the umbrella was going to break.
It did break one of the little things. Sorry, Dad.
We're still drinking beer from Finland.
We bought that in Estonia.
This is from Estonia?
That was our first grocery
trip.
trip.
This is like stashed away. This is somebody new.
No?
No?
Did
she say something
person
earlier?
From LA that wants a casita?
Are you sure?
Daddy me, Dad.
I don't know.
Keep scrolling.
What, farther?
Yeah, one of the first comments.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Family 3 2-year-old active kids. Would you recommend getting bathroom or no bathroom? I'm assuming you're talking about the casita, either the standard or the deluxe.
Are you full timing? Are you weekending?
Yeah. Okay. The deluxe. So there is if you ask casita, you can actually have them build you a side bunk. So instead of having the side dinette, we had the Spirit Deluxe. Right. We had the Spirit Standard. The Spirit Deluxe is the one with the bathroom where our bunk bed was. it was a bathroom and a hanging locker instead. But where the single table, the two-person dinette on the side that turns into a bed where Luca slept, that can actually have an upper bunk as well. So I think for a family of 4, if you want a bathroom, you can have them maybe build that.
We like using a porta potty, and once you get used to it, like in the beginning when we first had like a little tab, I'm like, there's no way I'm using that porta potty. That's disgusting.
I know.
But now it's like, we actually have 2 porta potties. Because
it started in Greece when our porta potty started like leaking water out, which is, it's pretty gross if it leaks water. So we got another one, and then we didn't throw the other one away, and we kept it around, and then we figured out how to use it to not make it leak. Just, open the thing so it drains right away when you use it, and that didn't leak. And then in Crete, we ended up having to use it because we filled one up with 5 people. 5 gallons goes pretty quick.
Yeah.
We were in one place for like 4 or 5 days, and then after 2 days, we filled one up. Having the other one around turned out really nicely, so we're like, okay, we used to have Yoda's litter box in this place right next to our toilet.
Cat.
Yeah, our cat Yoda. But she passed away. She's not with us anymore, so we don't need a space for a litter box anymore. We don't really want to keep anything else next to our toilet except for another toilet. So now we have 2.
If you don't need to shower,
the shower.
If you don't need to be in a campground and you don't need hookups and showers, and you can deal with the porta potty and emptying it, you have more space and it's more livable and it's more comfortable for everybody, unless you think showering is more comfortable for you. So it depends on what kind of person you are.
Weekending, transitioning to full-timing. I would say, though, I would just fair warning in saying that Casita is a pretty small space for a family of 4. Unless you're really comfortable with the amount of space that you have, it could have a negative effect with somebody in the family. I'm not saying that it will for sure, but there are enough of you that are downsizing very drastically. I'm assuming you're coming from just a normal living situation, apartment or house or something. Downsizing to something a 16-foot casita, it's very, very drastic. So I've seen a couple people where they went from a house, condo, apartment to something that small, and they ended up hating it.
Yeah, it was too small too fast.
Yeah, so be conscious about going too small too fast.
By emptying out the cassette, like I never emptied out the black tank when we had the Airstream, but now that we have the porta potty, we take turns, and as long as it's not super full, then I can do it.
Turns.
We didn't
take turns for the first couple of years.
But I can't empty it if it's super full. If that thing's full of crap, I cannot empty it. It's the weight, and it's going to be a disaster.
Yeah, and
if I empty it halfway, then I'm good.
Not trying to scare you, but every now and then you'll get some splashback. So,
well, maybe they're more elegant than us, Dan.
Yeah, does emptying the cassette become? Yeah, that's basically what we're saying. It can be, but emptying the cassette, having a cassette toilet has become a real advantage to be able to go to places that don't have RV infrastructure. Because you can empty a cassette into a toilet, a regular toilet, you can empty it into like a porta potty, like a big, those big things that you go in, like at a construction site. Those are actually, some of the best ways to empty it. You can empty it just into like a clean out, a sewer clean out. You can empty it in some situations. You dig a big enough hole, you can just empty into a big hole and bury it. It's not that different from just going poop in the wilderness. Now, I would say we do that. We've done that, but we don't put chemicals.
Yeah, we don't put
in our
any
porta
chemicals.
potty. People put pouches and liquid or powder or whatever to kind of cover the smell or whatever. But those really only work if you have enough water in there that the stuff can dissolve in, and then all your waste kind of goes into that water. But that water takes up so much space, and you have to put good water in. and then we don't want to waste our good water, first of all. And second of all, it doesn't really smell when the lid is closed and then the hole is closed.
And it takes up space in the toilet. That's really precious space.
Yeah, it takes up space.
It's precious space.
You put like 2 gallons of water in there just to be able to have enough liquid for the chemicals to dissolve, and that's 3/5 of the space you have in the toilet. So that's like, you know, if our toilet lasts like 2.5 days with a family of 5, putting 2 gallons of water in there, we're only going to last a day and a half. So yeah, we don't put chemicals in ours, and that's why, you know, in a pinch in Mexico, we have just dug in the wilderness, dug a hole. You know, when you dig a hole like 2, 3, maybe not 3, like 2 foot deep, 1.5 foot deep, and then you empty your, you know, non-chemical porta potty in there. By the time all the liquid drains, you're left only with like this much waste, and then you cover it up with dirt. But you know, in a pinch you can do that, but you can't do that. There's no way you can do that with like a 20, 30, 40 gallon black tank. No. So.
And does it smell like the older the toilet gets? Like when you open the lid or open it so you can dump it out, it does smell for a second, but it airs out in 2 seconds. You open the door of the van and it airs out, and it's not a big deal. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So W461 Per is talking about the free SIM card in France. That's
it's
the
100 gigs, but it's 100 gigs outside of.
No, 100 gigs when roaming. No, 25 gigs when roaming.
Yeah, that's.
I thought it was unlimited in France. I thought in France was unlimited.
It's pretty close.
But 100 gigs is a lot. Yeah. So free is one of the ones that our friend from Germany told us about. We were gonna cut into France. I looked at their kiosk locator on their website, and I mapped out a kiosk near the border of the corner between Germany, France, and Luxembourg. And we were going to go and just get the SIM card, but we figure if we want it, we'll go back. On our way to Spain, we'll go get it. Any issues with smells getting out in the van? So no smells.
It does smell
if you leave the lid open.
Yeah, and the older toilets, the older the toilet gets.
Yeah, I would say we're on our 5th cassette toilet.
We've got different ones for different rigs. And,
yeah. We're on our 5th cassette toilet. They'd get calcium buildup, and then like, you know, you really have to maintain it.
Yeah.
We haven't done a great job of maintaining it, but we just learned that the maintenance part, like recently, you're supposed to put some kind of petroleum jelly or some kind of lubrication on the urethane bushings, seals and rings and stuff, so it doesn't dry out and crack and it continues to seal. But of course, you have to clean it before you want to go do that. So we've each year that we've had a cassette toilet, I think it's only lasted about a year for us. So every year we got a new one.
It's a lot of use every day.
Yeah, it's not meant for this much use. So, currently wondering. Is that the Currents?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we met them a couple times. We were with them the first time they were boondocking, and we tried to teach them all our tips and tricks.
We were in Arizona, right before they started. Then when they first started Airstreaming, and they didn't even have solar yet.
What was that place outside of Tucson that's super crowded now?
Yeah, it's
something S.
Something Snyder Hill. Snyder Hill. We're in Snyder Hill, outside of Tucson.
Portugal has 30
Euro unlimited. But does it roam?
That's the trouble,
right?
The roaming part.
Also, it's not just the roaming part. It's also like a lot of them cancel you. I know Free, our friends have tested it, and they've traveled for like 9 months outside of France, and it didn't get canceled, so that's cool. And then Free also, they accept non. Oh, this is not charging. My computer's gonna die. They accept non-EU credit cards.
I'm gonna go see something.
I'm gonna go make sure the battery's on. Okay. I'm using my Dometic PLB-40 to charge my computer.
Yeah, go brighter.
So I just noticed that I'm down to 19%. Now I'm charging. Sandra, your lovely family. I can't travel vicariously through you. You're welcome. I'm glad that we can be of any type of inspiration. Yeah, you shouldn't have any anxiety. We know a lot of people that have anxiety about portable toilets.
Yeah.
I understand. We did too.
I had anxiety about everything, and it's totally
Still.
fine. I still do.
Still.
But it's totally fine. You just go for it and you figure it out, and it's totally doable.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing, what you decide and whether or not you order a casita. We really like I wanted the casita. Marlene
I
didn't want the casita because she didn't want to tow anymore. So for those of you that don't know, we had an Airstream, and then we downsized to a 4-wheel camper on an 8-foot bed. And then we added a casita a year after when we came back from Mexico and Canada, in eastern Canada. We added a casita. Marlene didn't want it because she didn't want to tow anymore. I didn't mind just because I know the resale value on the casita is so good, because the casita, just like how 4-wheel campers were, 4-wheel camper is changing a little bit, but casita still this way. They're a small company. They have a certain amount of trailers that they can build, no more. They're at max capacity. I don't think they're planning to build a new factory or anything, so it takes time for you to place an order and get one. So if you're able to get one, then by default they are rare, because if somebody they want one, they can go to the RV dealership and pick something up that's mass produced from the lot, like a Fleetwood or Winnebago or Jayco or something. But not a casita. Casita, you have to either order from the factory direct, or you have to buy used. But that makes the used ones very valuable. So when we sold ours, we put a couple grand into it in upgrades, but we ended up selling ours for the same price that we bought it for. So basically, in the year that we used it, we only paid like a couple grand. We lost a couple grand, basically the cost of whatever upgrades we did. I hope your daily vlogs were a great success. I like them, just because they're a lot of work that I can't sustain them for a long time. We did it for, I don't know how many episodes I did in Scandinavia.
Yeah. In Mexico, you did it a long time.
In Mexico, I did it a long time. In Mexico, I did like over 150 episodes or something daily. But that's because I was just shooting and editing from my phone. In Scandinavia, I was shooting from a mirrorless Sony, and then a GoPro, and then downloading the computer and editing every day. So that's very, very time-consuming and tedious. But I enjoy it more because that it gives me something to look back. Like, 5-10 years from now, I can say, yeah, kids, remember that? I can pull up the exact video of the day when we did that. And I love having that kind of reference to go back to. So, that's kind of how I measure whether or not it's successful. But of course, like getting views and, getting some like YouTube revenue from Google is also another way to measure it, but we don't make a ton of money through YouTube, so it doesn't really matter at this point. Maybe in the future, if we want to focus more on YouTube revenue, then, we'll do more stuff that can get more views. Just because, like, there are certain types of videos that would naturally get views. Like, we got a lot of views from some of the stuff that we shot in Dusseldorf. Partly because it was new for me to see them, and then also the other one is because I think, some of these things are going to be popular. And some of them, you can tell after you do YouTube for a while, some of the most popular videos are this types of videos. But those types of videos give me outside of the, of the revenue, doesn't give me any like personal satisfaction, because I don't go back to those videos and say, wow, wasn't it great when we did a tiny house tour of this place?
Yeah.
So, okay, missed a vlog. Sure, a lot of work, but they were, well, thank you. So, when we do something fun and unique, like when we go to Norway, very unique place, something that we look forward to a lot. It made sense for me to do that. And also, like, getting that unlimited plan made sense for us to do it. And while we're in Croatia, we're not doing something super, super exciting in my mind, just because this is the place that we can come to anytime we want. And it's not like, hey kids, remember when we're at, did this village? They're going to be like every year, so not as motivated to do daily vlogs here, because there's not as much payoff for me. But I think, when we go on the sailboat next week, I'll do that. And maybe Morocco. I think if we can get a good data plan in Morocco, or maybe at a campground where I can have fast internet to upload, maybe I'll daily vlog there too. Let's see. Definitely ordering the casita this week. You guys made a strong case for a standard model. Now I just need to convince wifey. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the standard model is also so unique and so rare that resale value, in my mind, is even better. Just because people that want one, they really only have the choice to order from the factory and wait 6 months for delivery. And every single standard model that we saw were, percentage-wise, lost far less money on the resale market than the deluxe ones. So that's another thing to think about. But you got to convince the wife. Well, I mean, that's kind of what I was talking about before, is it's a big drastic downsize change from a regular living situation to a 16-foot casita. So I wouldn't take her whatever, rationale she has against the casita. Like, I wouldn't just dismiss it completely. Like, I would just make sure that she's on board. Make sure, if you do convince her, make sure that she's 100% on board, because you don't want her to turn that back on you for just talking her into it. Because that is a big drastic change. Enjoy watching your Scandinavia vlogs very much. Well, thank you. I enjoyed making them. I wish I could do them all the time. And I think the vlogs, even like daily vlogs, there's something about doing daily vlogs that's different than doing like videos every other day or every 3 days. Because you would think, oh yeah, daily, that's so much harder, so many more videos. Doing every 3 days is like a third the work, or doing every other day is like half the work. But in my experience, not really. Just because when I do like a daily vlog, it's like, it's very clear what the start and the end of the stories need to be for that day. So I can clearly just shoot all videos throughout that day and be like, okay, we have enough, to do it today. Okay. But to do it every 2 days or every 3 days, that gets a little bit tricky, because I end up doing things like, okay, I'm going to do this today, but how do I have to talk about like, oh, how do I bridge today into the next day? And how do I make the stories between yesterday and today like make sense? So I ended up like having this conflict in my mind more than I would if I was doing daily vlog. So, I'm struggling with that. I would love to figure out a good methodology to do like consistent videos 2 or 3 times a week and tell similar stories. But we'll make sure you guys get the referral. Oh, well, that would be cool. We don't know if we've ever referred anybody else before. They did say that there was a referral. We're talking about the casita. That there was a referral program, but they either nobody's ever told them that we referred them, because I think we have referred few people in the past. But even if we didn't get the referral check, I'm just happy to be able to help. Remember, Casita has like a referral program we totally forgot about.
Yeah, they gave us like envelopes or something.
Yeah, we're supposed to like hand them to people.
Yeah. But they went in the trash real quick.
Okay, best 4G unlimited data plan is the Louis Idar Duo.
Is that in Morocco?
$40 a month. Okay, sweet.
Is that in Morocco or
Yeah,
somewhere
Morocco.
else? Okay.
It's in Morocco. We'll have to remember that.
Okay, don't forget.
Don't forget. Yeah, so there's a website that we use. It's called prepaidDataSimCard.fandom.com. And whoever runs this kind of wiki site, they do a really good job of updating. So let me see if Morocco is in here. It should be. They have Africa, Morocco. Let me see if that one is in here. Oh, yeah. Inwi. Orange is there. Inwi.
There it is.
Okay. Data only plan. Oh, it doesn't say anything about an unlimited plan. But we will look into it. Maybe they didn't update this. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, because if we can make that work, then we'll
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
we'll do some daily vlogging from Morocco. Because Morocco, it's another, very unique. I'm still pretty far behind. I don't know if you guys remember, if you watch my videos, the first video from Scandinavia, which is in Sweden, that was the Vasa Museum. Was that the first one? I talked about skipping through, because before that, my previous video was us leaving Greece to go to Turkey. So from Turkey, we were there for 2 weeks, and then we came back to Greece. Then we were in Paris for 2 weeks. We flew there to hang out with some friends, and then we came back to Greece for like another month. And then we took another like 2 months driving up, and then we ended up in Finland. All that time, like 3 months worth, a little over 3 months worth, I shot video. I have videos that I need to make. So I still owe you guys all those videos. I owe myself all those videos. So I'm gonna get around to doing them. I promise. Do you give van tours to curiosos? Sure. Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Are you in Split, Trucolino? Because if you're in Split, next time we're in Split, I don't know when we'll be in Split with the van.
I don't know, sometime after the sailing trip.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
welcome to come by and check it out.
Yeah. And maybe next time we'll be in Split again.
End of next week.
A week from today. We'll be in Split a week from today. So if you're in Split, maybe, let us know. Maybe we'll go get a beer. We'll hang out. It's the only unlimited 4G plan. Okay, cool. I will look into it. Data only plans. But it's also, some of these we can only get prepaid. Because we can't get. It's my brother. Everybody say hi to my brother. Nai Wen. He's talking about my niece and nephew. He's here until the 13th. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think we'll be back
there.
in the 10th.
We'll be back on the 10th.
On the traject.
There you go.
There's my Croatian.
So my brother, I'm guessing you're at work right now. And you're not with the kids. I'm guessing the kids are not watching. Probably good.
Oh, Nick, you quit your job
What?
in 2015.
Oh, I totally missed that one. We got inspired by you guys so we can quit our jobs and travel.
Hope you don't
all summer.
regret it, Nick.
Well, I thought you were in real estate. But that's 2015. That means you got your job back or got another job? That's cool. So Naiwen is my brother. Everybody say hi to him. He he actually he actually goes by Eric. That's his legal name. But Eric is a little common, so he goes by Naiwen on social media a lot. Aren't you supposed to be at work right now? What are you doing? Slacking off. I'm pretty impressed with this live stream not dropping frames. This is probably the least technical difficulties we've had.
Yeah.
Right?
If you guys knew where Dan's phone was right now, I don't have a picture of it.
No. Well,
I have a picture of.
Show the picture of the containers again.
I think it's in my Visco folder.
So we're parked on a piece of land from the village. The village down to the beach where we swim at is like 2 miles away. We're parked on that road. It's on the corner. And there's 2 containers that Marlene's uncle owns. And in between there's a little space. So we're just kind of back into that. But because of the container, we said this at the beginning of the live stream, but I'll say it again because probably a lot of you guys weren't here. Where we are on the island of Hvar, the closest cell tower is across the water, across the Adriatic on the island of Brač. And that's the tower that everybody's connected to when they're here, because the tower on the island is too far and maybe there's like a mountain or something over it. So clear across the water is where we're connecting to. But while we're here with the containers on both sides of us, we can't connect while we're inside the van. So I put my phone in a Tupperware, well, first in the Ziploc, and then plugged into like a little battery box like this, and then put in the Tupperware, and then close the Tupperware, and I put it on top of one of the containers. And that's how we're connected to the internet. So anyways, it works. Because, the first couple nights when we were sleeping in here, between the 2 containers, like, we had no internet. So we couldn't, like, kick back and Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
Sorry. Are you done with your beer?
No.
Oh.
I don't want to have to go pee too much.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah. I think we covered a lot. Do we need to talk about anything else? We talked about our plans for the winter. We talked about our sailing trip coming up next week.
Yeah.
And we briefly talked about our newsletter that we're launching. If you want to sign up for our newsletter, we have a page at mollymich.com/newsletter. You can sign up. We're going to start creating more formal, like, I know like these videos, these live streams are cool and nice. It's fun for us. But I think the newsletter is a good way for somebody to kind of keep up to date with what we're doing more like consistently. We're planning to do like a monthly newsletter that will give you guys a rundown of everything we've done the previous month, and then also our plans for maybe the following month, and any content that we create, that we release, we'll highlight stuff in there. So if you just want to kind of casually follow, you don't have time to like join these live streams all the time, or you don't, listen to the podcast, which, we're trying to get more episodes caught up to on that as well, or videos. And the only other way that we're sharing stuff right now when we're, that we're doing more consistently is Instagram. And a lot of the time, Instagram is not the best way to kind of get like a good picture of what we're doing on like a month to month basis. So we're launching a newsletter. We haven't had our first issue yet. We'll have one at the end of this month. And again, go sign up if you're interested. mollymich.com/newsletter.
You should type it in right there.
Oh yeah, I'll type it in right here if you guys wanna check it out. Can you put links in here?
I don't know. You're a fast typer, though.
Does it work?
It looks like it's underlined.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. We also updated our website a little bit. If you guys click there and check it out, you'll see that our website theme is different. It's more consistent now between the blog, the podcast, and the homepage. And I hope it's a little bit easier to sort of manage. And I updated our maps, our travel maps. Doesn't have everything in there, but it has, I noticed that Google Maps has been tracking me.
They're tracking everything, Dan.
Of course, they've been tracking me. They've been tracking everybody. But Google Maps has been tracking me. And then I found this page on Google Maps where every time, because I've been using Google Maps for driving directions, like a lot of people do. And for this last year in Europe especially, every time I'd go from, I put in a route, point A to point B, they remember it. They know exactly when I did it. They show me the route. And then they've been putting dots on the map. So, turns out that's a pretty good way to see where we've been. And also, how fast we went through certain places and how slowly. Mm-hmm. Because the more sparse the dots, the faster we drove through. And the more dense the dots, the slower we went through. So,
that's true.
That's on under our travel maps section of our blog website. Marjorie has to go.
All right,
bye, Marjorie. Thanks for coming. And yeah, we updated some photos. I think we updated. We need to update the resources section. We have a new podcast episode. Basically, it was a kind of year in review. We recorded this episode a week ago. On the day after our anniversary of getting the van off of the ship in Belgium. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a long one. It's a 2-hour one if you haven't heard it. And actually this live stream is going on close to 2 hours now too. But it's a long one that we talk about.
I don't know why you're so surprised every time.
Everything that we've experienced that's different. US versus Europe. And things that we like, things that we didn't like, the issues that we may have had, how many times we got pulled over, and what issues we had with them, and border crossings, and visa issues, and residency issues, all that stuff. So basically, if you have 2 hours and you're interested in what it's like to travel in Europe for a year, that might be a good one for you to listen to. But again, it's 2 hours, so. And we're the next podcast episode 14. Well, I don't know exactly what the next one will be, but one of them is going to be our time in Scandinavia. Mm-hmm. Another one is going to be our time in Greece, because we haven't talked about Greece yet, actually. Yeah. We went from Albania to Turkey, and then we were actually in Greece for 2 months. Really enjoyed Greece, so we want to record an episode for that. And then there'll be another episode that talks about post-Greece, pre-Scandinavia. So basically, Bulgaria, Romania, and then all the countries we went to in Eastern Europe. And that's about 2 months worth. Mm-hmm. So that's what's coming up. And then, of course, we'll share all that stuff through, all the normal channels. And then as episodes get uploaded and recorded and all that, we'll make sure that whoever subscribed to the newsletter gets the links to all of it, when we send those out. So,
Chocolino, there's no Buddha right now. Thank goodness.
Well,
it's not windy here.
Yesterday it was windy. This morning was windy. Which direction was that wind coming from?
It got colder, so it's the Buddha.
Yeah, but I felt like it was coming from the south, though. I don't know.
All right.
Okay.
I think we're done.
Hour and 45 minutes. So, thank you guys for joining this live stream.
Thank you.
It was fun. and we're gonna go binge watch Breaking Bad again.
We're season 2.
We've seen Breaking Bad, you know, when it was like new, and we decided to start over and binge watch it again. And now we're in the middle of season 2. We're trying to watch it all again before we watch the Breaking Bad movie that's coming out this month on Netflix.
On the 11th. So we have 8 days.
Yeah, we have eight days to binge watch it all. So we got to end this live stream so we can go binge watch Breaking Bad.
Oh, thank you. Who cares?
God. Okay.
I don't like newsletters either.
I know. But we promise to not spam you with a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. You can unsubscribe if you don't like it.
You know,
it's not a big deal.
No pressure. You don't have to. In fact, if you don't like it, like, feel no obligation. But, you know, I think it's a good way to kind of, because a lot of people, you know, though people have lives. They go do their thing, and then, like, you know, they come back and they say, oh yeah, what have you guys been up to for the last month or something? Like, you know, that's an easy way to kind of keep track if people care. So
easy. I don't want to talk to you. Here's my newsletter.
We can't talk to everybody. So, all right. Okay. You know, yeah, Canadian Toy. I want to binge watch that too. Okay, we gotta go. And thank you guys again for joining our live stream. We're gonna try to do more while we're in Croatia, and we're gonna take advantage of our unlimited data plan.
Well, we appreciate you guys interacting with us. It's fun.
Yeah, and
we enjoy it.
I'm really glad that we had minimal technical difficulties this time, because usually it's comical, especially when we're in this like non-optimal data signal situation.
Cell phone and a Tupperware on top of a container.
Yeah.
Worked.
Okay, we're gonna go.
Bye.
Bye. See you guys in whatever thing we do next.
If the kids are watching, go to bed.
Yeah. I think it can't be. They have to be asleep already.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, bye.